The left has been calling now for a children's crusade. They know they've been making these gun control arguments consistently for a long time. And they know that these gun control arguments have not been particularly effective. The gun control laws have not been put on the books. The gun control laws that are on the books have not really been enforced well. So now the left is looking for new spokespeople because they figure that it can't be the message that's wrong. It can't be that the American people don't particularly like the message. It has to be something else. And what it probably is that we've been using the wrong messengers. The messengers that we truly need in this crusade are children. As you know, this is a pet peeve of mine. When Jimmy Kimmel trotted out his small child, his baby, who has no political views from what I can see, to talk about Obamacare and suggested that his child's heart surgery at Children's Hospital with Dr. Von Starnes was an excuse for maintaining Obamacare, I said that this was immoral. I said it was immoral because my daughter had the same surgery at the same hospital with the same, well, a different surgery, but an open heart surgery, same hospital with the same doctor. This did not confer expertise upon me regarding Obamacare. You actually have to study the issues. I objected when Democrats under President Obama would routinely trot out children and use children's letters as an excuse to talk about public policy. They did this a lot on guns. They would find a letter in the mail from a 7-year-old, probably written by mommy and daddy, about gun control. Why can't we just make all the guns go away? And it's really interesting. The other day, my parents brought over a box of old papers, the stuff I'd had from when I was a little kid. And I went to a public school, and I found a paper in there that I'd written when I was maybe 6 or 7 years old. And the entire thing was about environmentalism and how human beings are ruining the environment. And the reason that I was writing that paper when I was 6 or 7 years old is because this is basically what they teach in public school. They teach you that you're supposed to care about the environment, which is fine, but then they teach you that man is ruining the environment. Man responsible for the death of all the geese. This is the routine that they teach in public school. It's not necessarily true. In fact, the facts don't tend to back up the idea that human beings are solely responsible for degradation in every aspect of the environment. In many ways, the environment has gotten better in the last few decades. But this is what I was writing when I was 7. Should I have been deciding gun policy? Probably not, because what I'd probably be parroting is what I'd heard from my teachers and from my parents, because this is what children do. Adults teach children, and then children parrot what the adults have to say because they think adults are smart. It's only later when children become adults that they realize that adults are just as stupid as kids most of the time. One of the great disappointments of being an adult is realizing that all the people who have houses and cars are just the same stupid kids, but a little bit more mentally developed. That said, adults are adults and children are children, but because there are a bunch of high school kids who are now speaking out about gun control and the media wants to confer upon them virtue, the media wants to confer upon them the capacity for leadership, it's quite shocking and quite fascinating and quite stupid. So here, as I showed you before, is these kids chanting, "Hey, hey, NRA, how many kids did you kill today?" From the New York Daily News. I don't know if we actually, so they did that, and then there was a picture of all these kids lying in front of the White House, because, you know, that means something. If children lie in front of the White House, that makes a difference. If it's 17-year-olds lying in front of the White House, that makes a difference. There was a kid named David Hogg who is apparently, according to his Twitter feed, he was pro-gun control long before this happened, which doesn't change anything. It just suggests that he had a political agenda and still has a political agenda. It wasn't like he was pro-gun and then flipped because of what he saw in front of him. New evidence changing his position. This is always his position. But David Hogg, he came out and was ripping anybody who has taken money from the NRA, and of course being treated with full seriousness by the anchors on this show, even though there's no credibility to the actual words that this human being is speaking. Emma Gonzalez, another shooting survivor, doing the same thing.